Our verse for today comes from Paul's brief letter to Philemon, chapter 1, verse 6, where Paul writes, "I pray that the sharing of your faith may become effective when you perceive all the good that we may do for Christ." Again, you see this combination in a letter from Paul, stressing the connection between Christ and the good we can do through our faith. The small letter of Philemon, you may recall, involves Paul writing about a former slave, Onesimus, who belonged, if you will, to Philemon. And Onesimus has stolen himself away to freedom. He has escaped, and Paul is walking a very delicate line in this letter on the path to what he hopes will be reconciliation. And often, as is the case in attempted reconciliation, everyone has to risk giving something up. In this case, Onesimus has to be willing to risk returning to his master and the possibility of consequences as a runaway slave. The most extreme consequences being even the possibility of being branded with a mark that would show everyone for the rest of his life that he was a slave who had run away. Philemon is being faced with having to accept a former slave now as an equal, as a brother in Christ in the family of God. And Paul has to risk losing the usefulness of Onesimus, which is actually what the name Onesimus means, is useful. Paul has to give up the usefulness that Onesimus has given him in assisting him. If you have a relationship right now in your life that requires reconciliation, remember this little brief book of Philemon and the fact that if true reconciliation is going to take place, it will probably require that you, as well as the other person or persons involved, will all have to give up something. So don't focus so much on who has to give up more, but focus rather, as Paul says in his opening prayer, on how the sharing of your faith may become effective when you perceive all the good that you can do for Christ in embodying the kind of grace and mercy and forgiveness that Christ has shown to you.